Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Adam Chase on Black Eyed Susan and Chase Brothers.
You have some really interesting stuff going on these days with Chase Brothers and some other things. I was wondering if we could maybe just start there and you can talk about releases and
Yeah, absolutely. Just based on, I guess, who the audience is here. My background is, it's a, I guess it depends on where I want to start, but growing up, my brother and I had a band called Black Eyed Susan, where it was our high school band, and my brother was considered a bit of a child prodigy on guitar. So when we were teenagers, we were opening for Eric Trucks, Victor Wooten, and then eventually Santana and Aerosmith and a bunch of larger bands. And so we always wrote music growing up. And then when that band ended and we kind of went in different directions in life, he lives in Baltimore, I live in North Carolina. That's when I started doing some tributes. Just as a drummer, it was nice to have, bands that I could move people around. Like if one person couldn't play the gig, it didn't mean we couldn't play. We would get different players. So that's when I started like Jazz's Fish and the James Brown Dance Party and those projects. And so I was doing tributes, and they took off in a way where it became a focus for me. And then when the pandemic happened, it was an opportunity to get back to writing music. So just when you're touring constantly, sometimes it's really hard to write and record and make albums. And my brother and I had been wanting to do just an album called The Chase Brothers. So during the pandemic, we started sending ideas and clips back to each other, back and forth from Baltimore to North Carolina. And we ended up writing some really beautiful music, and we brought some members of Snarky Puppy down to Asheville. Chris Bullock and Justin Stanton. Chris actually just released a really great record too. I'll just throw that out there if you guys want to look up Chris Bullock. But we brought the two of them down to help us with the arrangements, and then we brought in Felix Pastorius to play bass, Fred Wesely on trombone. We had Lyle Davinsky, who had been touring with the Motet, and Jay White, who is the bass player for Robert Randolph, come in to help with vocals. And so that's a really exciting project. That's something that we've been working on for a couple years now. We just signed with Color Red, which is Eddie Roberts' record label out of Colorado. And so in the spring, we're going to release that album. And so in the meantime, working on that record, we've done some, improv series and different things that kind of led me to working with Danny. I was working with Tom Marshall from Fish, and we did launch the Dab Sessions, which is an improv series. And, we do shows that kind of like an acid test, but obviously minus the acid in this world that we live in today. I mean, at least not handed out on our side of things. And it would just be shows that were 2 hours of improvisation. We did them with Mono Neon, John Medeski, Scott Metzger, and have done a few other ones. One with Aaron Magner from the Disco Biscuits and Felix, and so that was a really fun thing. And so in the process of kind of getting back post pandemic, so to say, I started doing more jazz and improv stuff, and it was through a friend referred me to Danny to do some work playing jazz music. And so I had been working with this female pianist before the pandemic named Domi, who since then has become kind of the face of jazz. And so I wanted to hire her for a tour. She wasn't available. She suggested a friend named Jonathan Huber, who I've worked with a few times. And when he wasn't available, he's like, "Oh, you got to call Danny Darris. This guy's amazing." And what was funny is when I first looked up his Instagram, it was a lot of him singing pop music and stuff that he was writing. And it was really great pop music, but I was just like, yeah, I don't know. I wasn't, for the kind of shows where you need somebody to maybe take a 10-minute piano solo or do collective improv. at first I was uncertain. Because I was seeing a lot of this pop music come up, and I was like, I don't know if he's in the right vein. But I dug deep. I didn't let it stop myself, and started seeing these videos of him playing piano where I was just absolutely blown away. So we went on tour together and playing jazz, and we quickly learned that we have the same exact sense of humor, and we just started joking about a band with kind of funny song titles, and it was more of a concept, and it was something where for New Year's, this past New Year's that just got us into 2023, Danny came down to Asheville and we did a show with Bob Lanzetti from Snarky Puppy. It was just like a 90s dance party thing for New Year's. And after that, we sat at a piano. I think it was January 2nd of this year, maybe, or January 3rd. And we took these ideas we had been texting back and forth to each other, just song names, and we just started writing. And in one day, we wrote 6 songs in their entirety. And sometimes it's hard; it could take months to finish one song. So when we had this one day of just writing so much and feeling great about all the songs, we knew we were onto something. And we actually went in the studio the very next day, started recording. So it was like writing, recording, and then. So this year for me has been, finishing the Chase Brothers record and then starting and launching Chess Club. And, I still have, other projects like Jazz's Fish is still active. James Brown Dance Party. We do occasional events, but the main focus for me this year has been releasing these 2 records. One is obviously the Chase Brothers, which will come out next spring. And then tomorrow, which, by the time people hear this, it's probably maybe in the past, but tomorrow we release our first EP with Chess Club, which is a 4-song EP where we have 2 special guests on the record. Felix Pastorius plays bass, and Isaiah Sharkey plays guitar. Isaiah is, he plays guitar for John Mayer, and he was, on D'Angelo's last record. And Felix is just kind of a legendary bass player. His father was Jaco Pastorius. And he plays with Cindy Blackman, number of other people, but just a legendary bass player in his own right. And so we're really excited about that. And then Corey Wong from Wolfpack I don't pronounce it great, he actually mixed this record, which we're really excited about. He's on top of being a great guitarist and songwriter, he's really a great mixing engineer as well, which a lot of people don't know. So that's been the focus for me.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.